Hello esports fans, hello B2 gaming viewers, this is your host Brad, and we've got more exciting and informative StarCraft gameplay for you guys. Today, the Caster series, where we learn how to do damage out of proportion to our numbers with Templars and Sentries, Ghosts and Ravens, and Infestors. As you can see here, we have a massive Zerg super fortress to assault, but only Ghosts and Ravens to do it. How does one do this? I'm sure it helps to have 7 nukes. So as you can see, you got to look around, then ready up, and decide how to deploy your forces. There's 3 avenues of approach, and hundreds of enemies to kill, but we're only shooting for at least 175.
Your forces are under attack.
I'm going to start with auto turrets. Auto turrets and A moving. We've cleared the near bubble around us, but as you can see, that's only 12 kills. We've only got 3 minutes left, so we're not doing too good. We need to turn up the rate of damage on this mission, or it's just not going to go well. You see just how much energy is on all my units. They all start full energy. And so you want to get out there and use some energy from each unit so that every unit can also be regenerating energy. You want to start your auto turrets a little bit back. That was fun. Always gotta love the missiles. Yep, as you can see there, the spore crawlers act as detectors, and without which there can be no attacks against your forces. Quick reminder, do not send your army into a nuke area, or the nuke will do friendly fire damage and you won't look very smart. So there's a big bundle of kills. Now we're starting to catch up. Can we get another 100 kills in just a minute? Seems unlikely, but we're gonna try.
Your forces are under attack.
Ghost's very ineffective against buildings. It's what the nukes are for, but not worth using a nuke on just a solitary building. I'm going to use them on the largest clusters. You can see there I'm not managing my army as well as I could. The ghosts were idle there. You should use the shift button to queue up commands and give them a better series of orders so that once they're finished with their first attack move, they have additional attack moves queued up and they head straight on to do the damage you need. Trying to kill some overlords just to let none survive. But yeah, we fall well short of our goal. We don't even get the bronze medal. So I'm afraid we're going to have to retry this. StarCraft people, that was a lesson of what not to do. So now we're going to try some new things, or rather, I did try some new things 2 years ago when I recorded these videos. My new strategy is to lead with a nuke, which is what I definitely should have done in the first mission. My next strategy is to use the old A move cloak micro. It's similar to burrow micro. Take whatever unit is being damaged and cloak them so that the Zerg forces cannot continue on. So my thought is just to nuke my way through the center while swinging from flank to flank on the sides. As you can see, sometimes it's better to give your enemy a target with an auto turret so that they'll take less time to mop up. You won't have to chase them down. Ghosts are excellent at murking Zerglings. Also very good at banelings, but you must be careful that they don't get on top of you, because your cloak won't save you from banelings, which do area of effect damage and do not need to target their enemies. So the nukes continue, and now it's time to get to our ravens. We've left our ravens idle, which has cost us some energy. Been far better to send them forward somewhere and drop a lot of auto turrets. Oops. I guess there got sacrificed to the Zerg gods. These Hydras and other units won't attack the Ravens as long as there's an auto turret in range, because the aggro of a unit that is dealing damage takes precedence for AI rather than a unit that is just hovering nearby, even if it is a valuable caster. A human player, on the other hand, will likely do everything possible to eliminate your high damage potential casters. Make sure they can't come back and bite him later. We're already up to our kill total of earlier with a minute to spare. Can we make this happen? Can we do it, StarCraft fans? I'm feeling it. There's the silver. Let's get some nuke action. We need the nukes. Cloaked our nukers. Here comes the boom. I need 25 more. We need them fast. Can we get them? Look at this. This is a nuke factory right there. Nuke all those spine crawlers. But there's an overseer hanging out. And yep, only 4 kills in the last 20 seconds. I can't let this stand, people. Past me couldn't let it stand either. We must do better. We must get gold. So let's see if we can avoid taking a step backwards, find a bit better tactics, and do more damage to this Zerg fortress. So I'm doing a divide and conquer strategy, making sure to use up the energy of some of these ravens in specific. So in this one, instead of wasting my time sending the ghosts around and mainly using their guns, I'm going to send the ghosts around with nukes, but focus on the ravens. Whoop, run dude, they see you. Okay. That guy's life flashed before his eyes. And he said, ow. So, variation of the same one last time. We're nuking our way in 3 directions while making sure that we use some Raven energy early. And we know that we have plenty of nukes, so we're not being stingy on them. So here we're gonna show you that shift click. This is what it looks like. Every shift click forms a new a new bar there, so that once you reach a certain point and there's no enemies, you then begin the attack move to the newly added point. For the first time there, you see the point defense drone, which goes extremely well with your auto turrets by intercepting enemy attacks that would destroy them. So we're going to do our best to attack the weakest Zerg units here in the back. This middle line, once it's wiped out, will be giving me many, many kills. And we're ahead of our score last time. We've gotten to 125, 20 seconds faster. So if we can keep up this rate of slaughter, we just might make it. This just might be the Terran caster strategy of choice. I gotta say, however it turns out, it is fun to watch this many auto turrets fight a Zerg base. This is making me want to play Terran just so I can do it. You can tell which one was doing the nuke there because his gun stopped moving. Instead of firing, he held his gun stable placed to use the laser sight. That's what I think of overseers. I think they're worthy of mass snipage. If we can just get some, there they are, the broodlings. Can we finish them off? Massive kills. That's right, people. We did it. We did it, and some time to spare, and taking out another overseer. We hate them. And now the final, the nuke to end all nukes. Oh god, put them away! Oh god, protect him! Oh, it's too late. We don't get that final beautiful nuke, but we still got the gold, and that's good enough for me. Woo! Woo! Get the gold! From covert ops to psionic assault, it's time to see what sentries and Templar working together can do. And they can do a lot. Let me tell you. If Pro Protoss knew how to use sentries, they'd never lose a tournament again. Ever. That's how good they are. Lintaro Tassadar student, a Protoss warrior must learn to fight enemies as numerous as the stars, primarily with hallucinated archons. In this simulation, you will command a small force resisting waves of attackers. Slay as many as you can, primarily with storm. Extra sound effects added courtesy of your host, Brad. So as you can see by the green circles, we have 3 potential avenues of attacks that our opponents will come down. Our opponents will be all 3 races. So unfortunately, we won't just be fighting Zerglings all day. We'll actually have to use some skill micro. But that little engagement shows you that a wide ramp can be blocked off with only 2 force fields, if they're properly placed with no overlap in the middle. It's also important to get those force fields low in the ramp, as roughly halfway up the ramp, your attacker will gain vision of the high ground. You can see there I had some guys in back not firing. Sentry range is only 5 tiles. The sentry width is 1 tile, and the width of those force fields is 2 tiles. So you need to be within 1 or 2 ranges of those force fields to be able to fire down on the units that the force fields are blocking. And if you let those 4 hydras up, the game's over. Those 4 hydras can kill your whole army. That's how much hydras beat sentries in terms of DPS. Sentries' only advantage is in that they can create expendable tanks called hallucinations, force fields to buy your army time, as it does here. And then a Guardian Shield, which is quite excellent to shield Zealots, Archons, and Immortals, and give them even further survivability as the tank units they are. So that's pretty much a basic rundown. As you can see, each wave will get tougher and tougher. And eventually you'll be fending off attacks from the flanks as well. It takes Sentries a long time to murk this, as you can see. You gotta watch out, because Banelings are one of the top things that Zerg will use to target down your sentries. Since you can force field Zerglings out, they'll try to get on to help your sentries and detonate before those force fields go down. As you can see there, I'm just using the simple tactic of move, clicking, and then A moving. You don't A move at the very beginning because that'll cause your army to wrap around and deal damage more slowly. What I mean by that is it forms the concave more slowly, so by entering, if your range is 5 and you get into 4 range, that will allow 2 ranks to fire at once. Oh, the storm! Massive damage! It's always fun. Too bad you never get hits like that in the actual game. So as you can see, we now have more money, more problems. That tank fell quickly because Archon hallucinations have half health. As you can see, the Zealots are bad news bears. In fact, these Zealots just killed a bunch of High Templars. That's not very good. Yeah, just in case you're wondering, this is not A+ micro. This is not how it's supposed to be going. This is not according to plan. But yeah, it just goes to show you how weak your opponents can be and take out your casters. That's still 124 enemies, but far, far short of our goal of 225. We want this army to wreck. And once I'm done showing you how to get gold, I want you all to show me how to get platinum. I want you all to show me at least 300 kills with the casters. I want you to show me not losing a single unit until you get 250 kills. If y'all can do that, then I will officially come on my show and tell you that you have won the internet. That's right. I won't give you any prizes, but you will have officially won the internet. And that's worth more than money, isn't it? And that pretty well demonstrated what I was trying to show there. When you're closer to your enemy, 2 or 3 ranks can fire, and they don't have to spend time moving around the bulk of your forces just to get a shot in. Saves time, which means you do more damage. So therefore, move clicking, then A moving at the right moment can vastly improve your DPS, and thus the survivability of your units. You see, I didn't force field quite close enough. That was almost a disaster. That one little spot there was able to spot the high ground for everyone else and almost wiped out my sentries. But fortunately, sentries have almost double the health of Marines, and so, well, they can't deal a lot of damage. They can take a fair amount. So judging by that, it may be more like 1/3 of the way up a ramp you gain vision of the high ground. But it's somewhere between that 1/2 and 1/3 mark, and you don't want to let any units up and gain vision if you've got a weak force like these sentries. It is suicide. And as you can see, I can barely beat them when they're not shooting back before the force fields wear off. can see, these rounds are kind of the gimme rounds. I let some of the Zerglings up just to show you how little damage Zerglings do, and because I was a little worried that the some of the Banelings in the back might get up if I cast the force fields as soon as possible. They only last 15 seconds, and I didn't want to have to cast any extras. Although, as you can see, I still got plenty of full energy sentries, and a force field only costs 1/4 of that energy. The Guardian Shield is 75 energy, and the Hallucination is 100. So here we get to the problem flank from last time. You can see the AI did a little better there, staying out of range of the force fields. Or rather dodging the storm damage and then staying out of range of the sentry beam. This one is dangerous. You gotta, as we found out, gotta prevent those zealots from getting up and starting to deal their massive damage. We didn't quite seal that properly, but it looks like it doesn't matter. We have punished them for their arrogance. Oh, the damn Reaper ability. Oh, those sneaky Reapers. I got in the back door. Killed 2 Templars. And a sentry or 2 perhaps as well. That's very bad. It's very hard to win these without all that extra Templar energy for storms and sometimes even feedbacks. Of course, the one Baneling. Oh no! You can see that Baneling wipes out your shields. There's that feedback I'm talking about. Beautiful, isn't it? 75 more kills, people. We won't have done it with style, but we will have done it. Can it be done? We'll see. These stalkers might even have blinking, which means I definitely can't let them gain vision of the high ground. Because once one of them gains vision, they'll all blink up, and there's no stopping them from killing a unit or 2. You see the similar number of stalkers, really probably half the number of stalkers could do an immense amount of damage to sentries. They catch them in the open. Oh god. See all those Reapers? Can't let them up. We're gonna have to cover the whole shebang. You shall not pass. How did that guy get through there? Oh my god. All my energy. Oh, but I was smart. I kept some guys in reserve. I'm not dead yet. Although it's certainly a bad thing when mutas are coming in. I can't force field them out. Gonna have to use our switch tactic. As you can see, sentries are good against mutas. You wouldn't think so, but they're actually really good as long as You can get that Mutaforce to target something else. So yep, it's time to create our first Archon. Only 50 kills away, so we need some DPS here to join those sentries. This is gonna be bad. These guys are gonna get vision of the high ground. Oh, but the Marines decimated. Now they're focusing the Archon. I can't let him get it. Don't die, Archon. Alright. The Archon lives. They still have to get through these rocks. Oh, yeah, don't help them out. That's a bad idea. A grade A bad idea, in fact. You can see Zerglings don't do damage to these rocks very quickly, so you pretty much let them have their way and not have to waste the storm like they did in the introduction. Now it's time to waste a storm, though, because roaches are good. Roaches are excellent against sentries, in fact. You see that forces their split. And in fact, if all 6 of them had been targeting that sentry, he'd have gone down in just one volley. Yep, the roach range is 1 shorter than the sentries, but you've got to use force fields to help exploit. Oh yeah. Things just got real now. We got the Big Daddy. Only 12 kills away. Can we do it? Just gotta survive one more wave or 2. And we can do it. I was lucky to be in range for those force fields there. Your force field range is the same as your attack range for the sentries, I believe, and so 2 more kills. Unless I do very poorly on this run, we've done it, people. We have learned how to be Protoss gods. And here you see one of the tricks. When you present the tank's targets, they'll go into siege mode and not rush up the ramp. So there we have it. How much longer can we survive? Yeah, without that storm, that force would have been powerful enough to finish me off. Had to give the Archon a little more room there. So the one weakness of the Archon is they're so fat, makes it hard for them to get around their smaller brethren. If they weren't so fat, they'd be overpowered. There's the last Templar. I should have probably saved him and made him into an Archon, but Hydra DPS, too strong. It's too strong, y'all. Could have put some hallucinations in there and won this fight, but I was just so happy to have gotten to gold after losing. And yep, technically wiped this one, but without the Archon. Yep, I don't think this is gonna go too well. Yep. Yep. Cue the music. Oh yeah, don't even get the force field. Cue the 300 music, people. This is the last stand. But I don't care because I got gold. And it didn't take 3 times like it did with the Terrans. So let's see how many times it takes with the Zerg Infestation Challenge. 200 plus units killed. God, that's fun. Not yet completed. Let's see what we can do. The difference between the Zerg and the Terran and Protoss caster challenges is that you only get infestors as the caster. You also get roaches, however, to help tank for them. These go together because these are the only two units that can burrow move, or move underground. And the roaches have an upgrade so that their speed increases while they're burrowed, which makes them excellent hit and run or scout units. So just like in the Terran challenge, we're sending a hit squad. Instead of ravens, we're sending infestors, and we're attacking the mineral line. The most effective use of your infestor is to neural parasite the damage dealers of the Terran army. And in this case, they also have some allies. Cleared most of the Marines out with that round. The next round will clear out. Remember that once you've killed all of your enemies in range, you must then kill off your parasited units to free up that infestor to move far enough away. Otherwise, you move out of range and your neural parasite will end, and that unit will go back to enemy control. See here, doesn't matter which race. You also see here they can't see up the high ground apparently. So now we go for a bigger wave. And we're trying to get this area here outside of range of that siege tank. Yeah, we've taken less casualties here, and now we're just raking in those SCV kills.
Our forces are under attack.
Good time to get those last infestors into the fight. Attack the right flank, and we've hit their rear. Now we've got to hit their left and wipe out the rest of the enemy in order to get to gold. Burrowed roach is so powerful when your enemy doesn't have proper detection. Here you see that unit didn't die, but I moved him out of range, and so the neural parasite ended. Whoops. Yep, only 2 siege tank shots to take out an infestor, so you can see why so many Zergs are so reluctant to rely on them. That siege tank just barely didn't get the time off to kill. Because they're armored, infestors aren't nearly as weak against colossuses as they are against siege tanks. That was the silver bonus, not some bonus for spawning a bunch of infested Terrans. Tried to neural him at the last second, but I was too slow. Should have moved committed my roaches past him because he won't attack. But there, we've done it, people. We got gold on first try. Well, it's not technically a first try. I did a bunch of tries before because I knew that Zerg was my worst caster race. Boom. Fortunately, how many times you die doesn't matter. Alright. Take that, you Terran scum. Basically wipe the map here. Just a few Marines and other units left. So yep, now that you know how to use your infestors, go forth and wreak havoc with your burrow. Guys, we've got 3 more challenge missions to go. We'll hopefully get those out today and tomorrow. Thanks very much for listening. Have a good night. Don't subscribe.